classifications of IUD. This is most important. Please, this is a 1 by 1 MCQ. What is 1 by 1 MCQ? What is 1 by MCQ? Definitely any question on IUD will come in exam. Definitely. So without any further ado, I am classifying IUD. I am classifying IUD in 3 parts. The first part is called first generation IUD. Second part is called first generation IUD. Second generation IUD. Okay, and third generation IUD. Okay, very important. What is first generation IUD? First generation IUD is that which is completely inert material. It is made up of inert material. INERT, inert material. Inert material means it is made up of plastic. Oh. It is made up of your something is called like it is made up of plastic. It is made up of generally it is made up of plastic. Okay. And one of the popular example of such is like this. This is called Lippes loop. Okay, write it down. This example of this is called Lippes loop. Okay, they are made up of generally plastic or rubber, or even they can be made up of barium sulfate. That is also inert for uterus. Barium sulfate will not react with in uterus. Okay, so generally made up of plastic, because plastic is if you are able to made up it with plastic, then why will go into the another option? Okay, second generation and third generation is actually MCQ. For first generation, the example is only MCQ. For second generation, you have to remember these are made up of copper. The second generation IUD are made up of copper. Okay, and third generation. Okay, I will let me discuss in a pattern, then you can remember well. Okay, that's why I am discussing in a pattern. First, I have discussed about the material. Then I will discuss about the example. And third, I will discuss about the mechanism of action. Okay, are you getting my point? Okay. Okay. Yes, sir. So the third part is that how the in third generation this okay, and now I think you know the examples of the copper as well. This is something called copper T as well. I think you know there are so many pictures. Even in your book there is a picture that is called copper T, and this is a tail of the copper T, which actually we used to keep outside the vagina. That actually helps to identify that yes, copper this whole device is inside in uterus, because sometimes it is found that this copper T is lost in the uterus. Okay, the copper T should be present where? Generally, suppose this is the uterus now. This is like this story type of thing. Listen to this carefully. This is uterus. The copper T should be present like this. This is like the arm of the copper T. This is like the body of the copper T, and tail should be like this. But sometimes it has been found that uterus is penetrated or uterus has been pierced and copper T is placed abdominally. Okay, and you are not getting that tail outside the vagina. So you might be worried, and you should be worried actually, that where is my copper T? So to actually this is this is the role of copper, the tail of the copper T. This is the role of the tail of the copper T. Anyway, that was a story. This is not needed for you. I just told because so that you can imagine that how the copper T should be placed. Anyways, and copper T can be placed by expert nurses. Even the copper T can be placed by doctors. Okay, and the next important thing is that okay, so this is something I have erasing right now. And the next part is that, and nowadays actually most of the time even the government is supplying the second generation IUD. Okay, government is not supplying the first generation IUD. Government is even supplying the second generation copper T, second generation IUD, which is actually nothing but copper, which is nothing but made up of copper. Okay, and the third generation is made up of hormone. The third generation is made up of hormone. Now the question is that which category of hormone? Is it a progesterone hormone or is it a estrogen hormone? The answer is it is made up of progesterone hormone. Okay, and the question is that can you tell me, sir, the name of few specific progesterone hormone? Yes, this is LNG. This is LNG. Sir, what is LNG? Levonorgestrel. That is something you have to remember because it is written in NCERT. Levonorgestrel. Okay, levonorgestrel. So you have to remember this is levonorgestrel. and levonorgestrel is something which will be used in which will be used in third generation IUD. Okay, now if you talk about the generation, means how it has been developed, how it has been evolved. Suppose today suppose if you go the 30 year back, the first time IUD which was developed, it was made up of plastic. Then we have evolved, we have developed some copper we have evolved some device of IUD which is made up of copper. And third, we have developed some device which is made up of your hormone, that is levonorgestrel. Clear everyone? Clear everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The third thing that you have to remember, the mechanism. The mechanism. For the first one, I'm erasing this. Actually, that will be nice to represent. That's why I'm erasing. So if you go with the first generation, the mechanism is only like this is only like it is no copper, no hormone. So it will only prevent the implantation procedure. So it makes, so the first generation, if you use the first generation intrauterine device, okay, I have forgotten to give the examples. Examples of third generation is very important. Example of third generation and second generation, I am mentioning everyone. Example of second generation, one is copper T, second is, can you tell me? Second is multi-load. Multi-load is a device, it is written in NCERT, which is made up of copper. So copper T, multi-load, both are made up of copper. If I go of this example of third generation IUD, you have to remember the examples are: number one, Mirena. Mirena is the example of copper T, example of your that is called IUD, which is called made up of LNG, and another is called Progestasat. Progestasat. Okay, that means progesterone insert. That's why it is called Progestasat, and Progestasat is a third generation IUD. Clear everyone? Clear everyone?
Yes,
After
sir.
this, I will give you question
Yes,
as
sir.
well. Don't worry. After this, okay. Have you ever seen the copper T? There are some figure like copper T 480, copper T 460. Can you tell me what does it signify? And sometimes you also find copper T 360A. What does it A signify? Can you tell me? Okay. The second question is that okay, actually there are some few numerical values that what is the rate of release of copper per day. That is not needed to remember for you because that is not written in NCERT. And also, what is the rate of release of hormone from third generation device? So that is also need not to remember. But this is something you need to know, that this 480 and 360 and A, what does it signify? You have to remember this 480 and 360 signifies
the amount of copper.
Not exactly amount of copper. It signifies something is called square millimeter surface area dash square millimeter surface area of device. So if I am telling this is copper T 480, that means here is 480 millimeter square or square millimeter surface area of the copper. If I am telling copper T 360A, that means it is 360 square millimeter surface area of the copper is present on that device. Okay, and A means arm. I mean, even in the arm there is some copper. That is something they are telling. Okay, even in the arm there are some amount of the copper. Are you getting my point now? Okay, now you tell me though which one. Okay, the question is that the MCQ is that, can you tell me a copper T is used for how many years? A copper T can be used
1, 2.
No, 3 to 5 year maximum. 3 to 5 year. Can you tell me LNG can be used for, I mean, not LNG, I should write actually name of the device directly. And the name of the device I have already mentioned, so tell me now. Can you tell me what is the name of the device? I told though. Mirena, yes,
Mirena.
Mirena can be used for how many days? Maximum?
30.
30? No. This is 3 to 4 years maximum.
Oh.
So actually both are same according to age time limit. Both are 3 to 5 years, and basically it is 3 years. Try to say 3 years for the Mirena and 5 years for the copper T. So, suppose a couple want that I want to take the next baby 5 year later. For them, this is the best method. So this is the mention, this is the word, it helps in spacing of child. So spacing of child. So spacing of child will be helped if a couple uses copper T or Mirena. Clear everyone? Clear everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And this is copper releasing, this is hormone releasing, this is copper releasing. This is copper releasing, this is hormone releasing. There is something rate at which per day they are releasing copper or hormone, but that is not needed for you. Again, I'm repeating, the rate of release of copper and the rate of per day rate of release of hormone is not needed for you. So it is not needed for you. Okay. The next thing you have to know, okay. The next thing you have to know is, suppose, sir, what is the mechanism? The mechanism is also important. Mechanism of action. The mechanism of first generation is only one. Yes, sir. That is, they will prevent the implantation. They will prevent the implantation process. Implantation. So they will prevent the implantation process. That is the mechanism of the first generation, which is made up of plastic. What a plastic can do? You think now a plastic can only prevent something mechanically. It can. This is only the mechanical. So mechanically, I mean, suppose a space is occupied by the plastic, the loop, like this is called Lippes loop. Suppose the Lippes loop has occupied a space in the uterus, so it will always prevent, but the accuracy rate will be not good. The success rate is not good. But if you go into the second generation, what is the mechanism of action? For second generation intrauterine device, the mechanism of action is that it will release copper at rate something. I'm not mentioning which rate they will release copper. Okay. So they will release copper daily. Okay. Daily they will release some copper, and that copper, what they will do, if you can remember that I told in my live classes as well, in the previous module, that there is some channels are there which is called calcium channel. Okay, if this is a calcium channel, what is the charge over the calcium? +2. Okay, and what is the charge of the copper? What is the charge of the copper?
+2.
+2. So what will happen, that calcium will mimic with copper. Okay, calcium will mimic with copper. So instead of calcium, now copper will start entering. But definitely copper cannot do the job of calcium. So definitely copper and calcium entry will be hampered. And if the calcium entry is hampered, calcium is something which helps in tail functionality. I mean, proper functioning of tubulin protein of flagella. This is flagella. So tubulin protein dimer or dimerization or functioning. Actually, to function, they have to dimer. So that is something called tubulin protein dimerizations. And this tubulin protein dimerization is hampered, and as a result, you have to remember, as the tubulin protein dimerization is hampered, definitely that the motility. So this is the catchword. Please mark it. In your MCQ option, the word will be motility. In your MCQ, the word which you have to mark is motility. So motility will be hampered. So definitely motility will be hampered. Okay. So motility will be hampered. Okay. And as the motility is hampered, as the motility is hampered, you have to remember, as the motility is hampered or motility is going down, do you think if the sperm is unable to swim in the vaginal fluid, in the uterine fluid, it will reach to the fallopian tube? The answer is no. So definitely the fertilization, so it will also prevent fertilization. So fertilization will be hampered. Okay, this is the mechanism what is done in presence of copper T. Okay, and that's why the best answer for copper T is the motility decrease and fertilization prevent. Okay, and you can also add this point here as well, but this will be added the second preference, because the most important mechanism is already the first one, not the second one. So the first one is the most important mechanism, okay, for copper T. Are you getting my point? Okay, now you tell me the third. So the third one, okay, the third one is again very important. You have to mark it definitely. What is the third one? Okay, and the third one is what is the third one? What about the third one? Third one is hormone releasing. Okay, the third one was hormone releasing. So hormone releasing, how they are doing. So first you have to understand which was the name of the hormone. It was LNG. Which category of hormone it is? It was progesterone. And in my classes, in my live classes in previous module, I have already explained that LNG or progesterone, that is nothing but a hormone which helps in excess amount of, tell me please, mucus. Okay, and this excess amount of progesterone or mucus, what they will do first, you have to remember this excess mucus in this excess progesterone which will be released from this third generation device will help in secretion of excess mucus, and that excess mucus will prevent the motility capacity, I mean the mobile capacity. Okay, it will prevent the motility as well. If it is blocked by mucus, do you think in the mucus the sperm can swim? The answer is no, because the mucus is very thick. So it will form some thick mucus, and the thick mucus will also prevent the motility. Okay, so in both of the cases motility is hampered, but the mechanisms are different. There the copper was the culprit, here the mucus is the culprit. And as the motility is going down, definitely fertilization will go down, and same mechanism. So contraceptive purpose is fulfilled. Okay, but don't ever tell here the another mechanism that I will mention in the oral contraceptive pills. Okay, in oral contraceptive pills, you are taking the progesterone orally, and that progesterone is directly going into the blood. But here, the progesterone is not will not enter in the blood adequately. Yes, there are some blood vessels through which the progesterone can enter in the blood in little bit amount, but generally the progesterone which is released by this device will act locally. So here the thick mucus release is the main mechanism, not the excess progesterone in the blood and thereby LH decrease. That is different mechanism. So after this whole story of IUD, I just want to ask you one more question, and you can also add the third point here, second point, as that it will also make the uterus unsuitable for implantation. This is a common point for both 1, 2, 3. For all generation 1, generation 2, and generation 3. This is common point that the IUD device will make the uterine environment unsuitable for implantation, that I have already mentioned. Okay, because it is occupying a space now. In the uterine cavity, normal space of the uterine cavity is very small. You cannot imagine in this way the baby is so large, so hard. General space of the uterus is uterine cavity is big. No. Uterine cavity is very, very small. Okay, so there you have to remember that as the space is very, very low, so you have to think in this way that there are three type of three type of uterine devices: number 1, number 2, and number 3. What is number 1? The number 1 is something which is called generation 1. Number 2 is generation 2, which is made up of copper, and number 3 is made up of hormone. Okay, so clear everyone.